Your car feels perfectly smooth at 40 miles per hour. Then, as the speedometer reaches 60, the steering wheel begins to shake. Most drivers immediately pay for an alignment, but that may not solve it. The exact speed, where you feel the vibration, and what the car is doing can point toward completely different systems. In the next few minutes, you'll use those three clues to decide what should be checked first and what to tell a mechanic so parts aren't replaced by guesswork. One safety rule before we begin. If the vibration appears suddenly, becomes severe, or starts after hitting a pothole or curb, reduce your speed smoothly. Avoid hard braking or sharp steering and pull over somewhere safe. Look for a visibly low tire, a sidewall bulge, cuts, exposed cords, or obvious wheel damage. Do not continue normal driving on a damaged tire. If the steering or braking also feels different, arrange roadside assistance. Now answer three questions. When does it happen? While cruising, braking, accelerating, or idling? Where do you feel it? In the steering wheel, seat, floor, brake pedal, or entire vehicle? And at what speed does it begin? These clues cannot prove which part has failed, but they can identify the system that should be tested first. Start with a car that feels smooth at lower speeds but begins vibrating somewhere between 50 and 70 miles per hour. In this situation, the tires and wheels should usually be inspected first. A small imbalance may be difficult to feel at 40 miles per hour, but it can become much more noticeable as the wheel rotates faster. Before visiting a shop, wait until the vehicle is safely parked and the tires are cold. Check the tire pressure against the label on the driver's door frame or the value in the owner's manual. Do not use the maximum pressure printed on the tire's sidewall as your target. Inspect each tire for a bulge, cut, unusual wear, packed mud, or snow. Also look for an obviously damaged or bent wheel. Think about what changed immediately before the vibration started. Did you hit a pothole, touch a curb, have new tires installed, or recently have a wheel removed? If there is no visible damage, ask the shop to inspect all four tire and wheel assemblies and perform a proper dynamic balance. But what if the balancing machine says everything is perfect and the car still shakes? Ask whether the shop can measure tire and wheel runout or perform a road force test. A tire can be slightly out of round or change stiffness as it rolls under the vehicle's weight, even when an ordinary balancing machine displays 0. And remember, wheel balancing and wheel alignment are different services. Balancing corrects unequal weight in the rotating tire and wheel assembly and is commonly associated with speed-specific vibration. Alignment adjusts the angles at which the wheels meet the road. Pulling to one side, an off-center steering wheel, and unusual edge wear are stronger alignment clues. Your vehicle may need both services, but purchasing an alignment alone may not solve a speed-specific vibration. One exception is a vibration that appears on a cold morning and disappears after several minutes. That can be temporary tire flat spotting after the vehicle has been parked. If the vibration remains after the tires warm, have them inspected. Now pay attention to where the vibration is strongest. If it is concentrated mainly in the steering wheel, ask the technician to begin with the front tires, wheels, and front steering or suspension area. If it is stronger through the seat or floor, the rear tires and wheels deserve attention first. If those are correct, the driveline may need inspection. These are starting points, not proof, because vibration can travel through the vehicle's body. Give the technician a precise description. The vibration begins around 58 miles per hour. It is strongest in the steering wheel and it started after I hit a pothole. That is much more useful than simply saying, "My car shakes." What if the vehicle is smooth while cruising, but the steering wheel or brake pedal begins pulsing only when you apply the brakes? Now the diagnostic path changes. This pattern points toward brake shudder and means the braking system should be inspected. Possible causes include variation in the brake rotor's thickness or sideways runout, uneven brake pad contact, a sticking caliper, or worn-related components. Do not automatically purchase new brake pads or assume that the rotors are warped. Request a complete brake inspection. The technician should examine the pads, calipers, and hardware and measure the rotors rather than guessing. If braking ability has decreased, the pedal feels unusually soft or begins sinking, the vehicle pulls severely, or you hear grinding, stop driving normally and arrange professional assistance. Next, notice whether the vibration becomes stronger when you press the accelerator or climb a hill, and becomes weaker when you ease off the accelerator. That pattern moves attention away from wheel balance alone and toward components carrying engine power to the wheels. On front-wheel drive and many all-wheel drive vehicles, the inspection may include the inner CV joints and half shafts. On rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive vehicles, the drive shaft, universal joints, and center support bearing may also be involved. Engine or transmission mounts can transmit additional vibration, and an engine misfire can create shaking under load. None of these parts should be replaced based only on this video. Tell the technician that the vibration changes with accelerator position. Ask for the appropriate axles, drive shaft, joints, and mounts to be inspected, along with engine diagnostic data. Never crawl underneath a vehicle supported only by its emergency jack. If the engine is shaking and the check engine light is flashing, reduce the load on the engine, pull over safely, and seek service promptly. Finally, does the vehicle still shake while it is completely stopped and the engine is running? At 0 miles per hour, the tires and wheels are not rotating. They cannot be producing that stationary vibration. The investigation should now focus on the engine side. Possibilities include an engine misfire, irregular idle, fuel, ignition, or air-related problems, worn engine mounts, or an engine-driven accessory. Watch whether the tachometer moves irregularly and whether any warning light appears. Have the diagnostic code scanned and the engine operation and mounts inspected before purchasing replacement parts. Here is the complete diagnosis map. If the vibration happens mainly while cruising between 50 and 70 miles per hour, inspect tire pressure and visible tire damage first. Then request tire and wheel inspection, balancing, and run-out testing if required. If it is mainly in the steering wheel, begin with the front wheel and tire and steering area. If it is strongest in the seat or floor, begin with the rear tires and wheels, followed by the driveline if necessary. If the vibration happens only while braking, request a complete brake inspection. If it becomes worse while accelerating, tell the technician to investigate the drivetrain, mounts, and engine operation. And if the car shakes even while stopped, investigate the engine and mounts, not wheel balance. Take a screenshot of this final chart when booking the inspection. Use this sentence: the vibration begins around blank miles per hour. I feel it mainly in the blank. It becomes worse while blank, and it started after blank. A proper diagnosis uses observations and measurements, not random replacement parts. If this explanation helped you understand what your car is telling you, subscribe to Cylinder and Circuit, and comment with 2 details: where you feel the vibration and when it happens.